let's fly this surfboard to Fiji. This is an 8-foot long, mid-sized board, and it's my first hardtop coming out of the Wave Storm series. And I've seen way too many videos of people opening that surf bag and just seeing the surfboard either dinged or even broken straight in half. I'm going to try to pack this up so we avoid all of that. I have already lined all of the rails with pipe insulator and I've duct taped it in place. So hopefully the rails will be fine and take the brunt of any damage caused by, you know, we all know, the people throwing the luggages. And just for this trip, I bought a surf bag. This is a Pro Light travel bag for an 8-foot board. It's one of the thicker ones and it has around 10 millimeters of padding on each side. But I really don't think that's enough to cover the board, make sure that it's okay with a bunch of luggage getting thrown on it and all of the damage that's probably gonna happen to it along this 10-hour flight. So I did something a little extra for it. I went to Home Depot and along with the pipe insulator, I bought wall insulation. This is 2 inches of pretty thick, durable foam that should take any hard impact from the top or bottom of the surfboard. I cut this out with a insulation knife to the dimensions of the board, a little bit bigger just to be safe. And this is going to be sandwiching the surfboard. Let's throw it all in the bag. This bag is a 2-board bag. I bought it specifically to be able to throw in the foam. There we go. It's gonna look just like that. Then we're gonna close this, put the board face down so the wax doesn't get all over the insulation, doesn't get all messy. Now for the last layer of foam. This is gonna be a pretty chunky size bag, so fingers crossed that it makes it. Just got to Club Fiji. Now we wanna see, did the surfboard make it? Looks like the board is doing good. The foam railing does have some scratches on them and some like impact damage, but we do not care about that. The board is good. The board made it. All the hard work paid off. Now to surf. The flight from SFO to Nadi was around 10.5 hours long. Luckily, I was able to sleep through most of it. Unfortunately, I did lose my fins at TSA on the way here. They asked me to just put them in a separate aisle. It went through an x-ray instead of the regular machine. And then I totally just forgot to pick them up in my rush to the gate because I got there just in time for the flight. So we don't have fins. That's a problem that we will have to figure out because I do want to go diving here. And then I got hit with these bad boys. You see that? $240 to bring that in this. I mean, luckily that made it, but still $240 was a huge hit. I mean, I thought I was gonna be paying 90 bucks each way because I've taken the sports tube out from Sacramento to Colorado in the past, and that ended up only being, I think, around $40. Or actually it was Southwest, so it totally flew free. And then the times I've taken that same sports tube to Baja, it ends up costing like 50 or 60 bucks both ways. As for the room we're in, let's zoom out a little bit. We've just got everything charging over here. I picked up a drone just for this trip. And yeah, it's pretty small, not much. Got a nice outside view of the gardens. Usually when I travel, I don't spend any time at all in the hotels. So this place I think was $65 or $72 a night, something around there. Pretty cheap, especially when it comes to Fiji. We are not on one of the islands. We are on the main island, still next to the airport, but I think there's plenty of stuff to do around here, at least for this being the first time I've ever been here. Anyways, I'm all sweaty, stinky from the airport, so gonna shower and then let's figure out this fin problem. And we also need a wax scraper for this because it has cold water wax. As you guys know, Californian water is really cold, and here the water temperature is 80 degrees. That means no wetsuit, and it also means that I need to take that cold water wax off, or else it'll just come off. All changed, ready for my first day in Fiji. The goal for today is going to be to go eat. I haven't eaten since like the plain food, find dive fins, and then we also need warm water wax on this board. We've got the wax there, but it would be nice to get a wax scraper or else it's just gonna take too long. But anyways, yeah, that's the goal. Go eat, find fins, and see if we can get a wax scraper. Oh, I am really not looking forward to what's next, and that's driving here. This is the rental car we're going with. It was nice because that top there allowed me to strap in the board really easily, but that right there, that's why I'm cooked. Like, I know I'm on the opposite side of the world right now, but on the opposite side of the road too. Oh, why? That right there is the spot that we're looking for. That's gonna be the one. Unfortunately, that's another hit, but that's what I get for forgetting my stuff at the airport. Yeah, the only other dive shop is like 34 miles south, so that's an hour and a half, and I don't think I can do that today. Went with the only thing they had, these Gar modular fins, plastic fins, big downgrade from the carbon fiber Inegras that I brought up, but and then we are at Port Denaru. Let's get something to eat. Quick walk around the port, and we've already found what we need. That rip curl down there, or the cloud break should have a wax scraper. I ended up checking out both of the surf shops, and none of them sold wax scrapers. Actually, only one of them even sold surfboards, some foam, cheap surfboards, and they said they were the only ones that really sold surfboards. That makes sense why it's so expensive to bring surfboards in. They actually said that the surf company that I'm gonna be hitching a ride on their boat tomorrow are the only ones that sell boards, and even the boards they sell are used. So. But even though I was not successful in finding a wax scraper, I do have the wax. So I just ended up going to a supermarket and buying a plastic cup, and that'll do the trick. It won't be as easy, but that'll get the wax off without scraping up the board. And then I will just put some new base coat on it and warm water wax, and we'll be all set for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be surfing swimming pools, one of Fiji's most popular surf destinations, and it's supposed to be, I think, 3-4 plus tomorrow, which I can totally handle. This is a different type of break though. It's right over a reef, so I think it tends to be a little more hollow, but we'll see, because the rest of the time I'm here, it's gonna be like 5, 6 and up. So tomorrow might be the best chance I get at actually catching some really good waves out here in Fiji. I also visited the Nadi market. It was packed. I ended up buying some papaya, some bananas and oranges for some breakfast tomorrow, along with yogurt at the supermarket I stopped at. For the rest of the day, nothing much, just gonna chill. I was planning on swimming, but I don't know if you guys can see all the way out there. The tide really went out. It used to be just right here. Now it's all the way out there. I am assuming that it is way too shallow out here to even use these, but we're gonna give it a shot just because I'm dying to get in the water. Plus I want to know how cold it will be tomorrow when we're surfing. But there's no one out here, probably because there's nothing much out here other than sand. Got picked up at the resort, had a little bit of a problem in the morning. This guy just wants my attention. Hey, no biting, no biting, come on. What the heck? Anyways, got picked up at the resort, had a little bit of a problem because I forgot my back fin tab, which, such a pain. But we took like a 20-minute drive, picked up from the resort to here. Luckily, Ian was able to find a fin tab that worked for me, which was great because if he didn't, I wouldn't have been able to use the board, and that would have sucked. Then we hopped on our boat and started the day. Surprisingly, even though Surfline forecasted big waves all around, there were plenty of flat spots that the captain said only were surfable when the bigger spots got really big, like triple overhead big. My wax job was completely suffering. I had a little bit of cold water wax residue on the base, and the warm water wax was not liking it at all. But it was too late to take it all off or do something different, so I just added as much wax as I could, which still didn't give me the best result, but it would have to do because we were at our destination. Right now we're surfing Nomatu lefts. It is crystal clear.
crazy being able to see your shadow, and the waves are just perfect. Look at this. Water's so nice.
Also saw a few of these guys. This is a sea crate, also known as one of the most venomous snakes in the world. But they're usually pretty docile, and in the water they'll just check you out and then dip.
Next up, Tavarua right. Ow! There's jellyfish out here, I think. How absolutely insane it is to be the only one on the entire break. Look at this. It's beautiful. You can see everything. And there's zero.
Although this spot was much smaller, there were far less closeouts, and the rides were nice and long. Some spinner dolphins came to check us out on the way to the next spot.
Third spot, swimming pool. The one behind looks super nice. Yeah, we'll go for it, Had every single break just to ourselves, and right when we're hopping out, 2 more boats pull up. How hilarious.
Done with the day, we stopped by Cloudbreak on the way back just to check it out. There were some really good surfers out there, although it was a little bit small for the spot, only around 4 to 5 feet, which probably explained why we had the other breaks all to ourselves. Just got back from the surf sesh, and man, it was just unbelievable out there. I still cannot believe that we were the only ones out there for 3 breaks all day long, every single wave just to myself. I lost track of how many waves I caught over those 4 or 5 hours. It's just back to back, really beautiful, gorgeous waves. And I think I'm gonna make some adjustments to the surfboard. We had such a crazy morning because nothing was working out last night. I was trying to take the wax off of the board, and I was using a credit card because I forgot my wax scraper. That was just not working out. The board wax was not warm, so it was not coming off at all. I spent maybe 2 hours trying to get it off, and then threw on a quick wax job, which completely just came off at the first spot we went to. And oh man, luckily I was able to just throw on more wax and just keep throwing on more wax as the day went on, and it worked out. But now that we're back to the place, I left the board in some heat, this nice hot Fiji sun. Then I just took it off with the same credit card and came off super quickly, wiped off the rest. Ian from Fiji Surf is gonna have some acetone ready for me tomorrow to just quickly make sure none of that cold water wax is on there. He came in clutch this morning with that surf tab piece, sold it to me for 10 bucks. So man, that just saved the day, allowed me to actually use the board. He has such a man cave, which is so epic right by the beach. And yeah, we'll have this board waxed tomorrow and run the same thing tomorrow. But for now, probably just gonna chill, eat some lunch. It is 3 p.m., so time for lunch for sure. And maybe read a book on the beach. This resort is pretty nice. Check it out. This is my view. And it was around 70 bucks a night. So yeah, this is why I stay in the cheapest places, because I'd rather be spending money doing activities or doing something unique to the area than like spending a ton of money on like a 5-star hotel, which I'm not even gonna stay at. I'm gonna take a quick shower and then I'm out again. So it's 5:30 in the morning, just woke up, let's run it back. Bought this drone just for this trip. This is a DJI Mavic 3 Classic, released in 2021. Usually what I do for my trips is I buy a drone at a lowball offer, super cheap on either Craigslist, OfferUp, Marketplace, and then use the drone during the trip and sell it after. Sometimes I make money, sometimes I lose like $50 or $100, but it's kind of like renting a drone. Hopefully we'll be able to get some good footage with it today. Different boat today, hoping for a little more swell than yesterday, and probably gonna hit up the same spots. If we're the only ones on the break again, that would be amazing, but I doubt there will be very many people out after what we saw yesterday. I think Cloud Break is a little calmer, so all the beginners and the advanced people are still going to Cloud Break. Fingers crossed for some good conditions, but it should be amazing. We're not the only ones out here. There's around 12 other surfers in the lineup. Not bad. Nothing compared to coming out of Malibu. Looks epic. Looks a little bit bigger than yesterday, so hopefully it'll be great. What was really hard about this spot for me was beating the closeouts. Almost every other wave was closing out, and even for the ones that weren't, I had a hard time going horizontally across the wave. It's still something that I need a lot more work on. As you can see on this one, I try to go across the wave, but end up just floating and then not being able to push down to stay on the wave. Same thing on this one. This one was a little better. But that was literally breathtaking. I also learned pretty quickly it's called Nomatu lefts for a reason. I didn't record our time at Wilkes just because it was so packed and it was around 7 foot, so I needed to be on my A game. But I didn't miss out on much because I don't think I caught a single wave. No matter how many times I do it, driving on the right side while on the left side of the road, it doesn't make sense to me. Something in my body is just like, go right, but I have to keep reminding myself in my head, go left, go left, go left, stay left. It's gonna take some getting used to. But anyways, we're all done with the surf sesh. It went really well today. Another amazing day out in the waves. And we're now trying to find something to eat in this building over here, which Ian recommended. Let's go see what we find. I am absolutely famished. The place he ended up recommending was Korean food. Kind of interesting. I mean, it looks good and I'm starving, but I'm really trying to get to know some of the places that are a little more local, not this, which I have at home all the time, but it's funny to have this here. It's day 4 in Fiji. After surfing the past 2 days, all day, I woke up today just completely fried. My lats are dying, my back is dying, my neck is dying, my feet are scraped up, and I kind of wanted to give a shot at surfing from the main island, but to be honest, I don't think I'd even be able to make the paddle out. So we're just gonna be checking out the beach today. It's supposed to be the nicest beach in Fiji. I think it's Nomatu beach. I'll correct that in a bit, but yeah, we're gonna be checking out that beach. It's supposed to be really nice. Breakfast today is this yogurt parfait I made with the bananas from the market and the papaya from the market. The granola here is super expensive. It was like $15 for that little bag right there. Crazy expensive. Some of the stuff in the grocery store makes California seem cheap, which is interesting because everything, the conversion is like half here. But I guess the stuff that they import, it's pretty expensive. I already backed up all the footage onto my computer just in case I lose one of these cameras. So yeah, we're gonna be also diving today, hopefully. So fingers crossed that conditions are good, but we'll see. Anyways, let's get started with the day. I'm excited to go out again. The road system in Fiji was very interesting. They had one main road, Queen's Road, which goes all around the outer side of the island. And anytime you want to go into a village or go deeper into the island, you end up taking all these small trails that are not very paved and some of which are not even drivable. But the main Queen's Road was an easy drive. Made it out to Natadola Beach. That's what the place is called, not whatever I said earlier. And it is pretty beautiful. It was not very hard to find. The main road is super paved, contrary to what people say on Reddit, that there's potholes everywhere. It definitely looks surfable out there. There's some like 2-footers, maybe the occasional 3 coming back around. There's a lot of people selling massages and horseback riding and tours over there. I don't think I'll do that today. I think I'll stick to just snorkeling. From the drone, the reef looked a little small and pretty shallow, but everywhere online seemed to say that this was a place to snorkel from the main island, so I hopped in. Visibility was a little hazy, and the reef was pretty dead. Definitely not what I expected from everything that I had read online, but I guess that was just posted by the nearby resort. I guess the spot was cool, but I found a much better place later on during the week. We're looking for something with a little bit clear water. We're just driving down the coast right now, but had to stop for lunch. This is what we have for 10 Fijian dollars. So it's around $5. Lamb curry. Let's dig in. We went off the beaten path for a little bit and now we're at Kuvu Beach. There's a main resort right over there, but I wanted to go to just the main beach area without the resort. There is a ton of trash though. This looks like a popular hangout spot. And the water doesn't look too clear, so I don't even think we're gonna hop in. But let's send the drone up and see what we see. Once again, we are off the beaten path, off-roading in this rental car, like usual. When do we not off-road? When we rent a car. But I'm just following this car up ahead. I think we're going to the same place. I'm trying to find a waterfall that Ian from Fiji Surf recommended to me. And it was around a 30-minute drive down from, or actually an hour drive down from the last beach I went to. But hopefully it's worth it. We'll see. It's a little windy on this side of the coast. Very, very green, very jungle-like. Road led to this community center where they did a kava welcoming ceremony and then a walk to the waterfall, which was absolutely beautiful. So gorgeous. Definitely a must-do if you're here.
Water, not for drinking.
Yeah.
For swimming.
The fee for the hike is 25 Fijian dollars, and to do it with a guide is 15 extra Fijian dollars. I did it with a guide because they made it seem like it was a requirement, but the hike was actually more of a little walk. I don't necessarily think you need a guide, but he did point out a lot of the plants there and animals, and throughout the walk we just discussed life in the village, which is very different than life in the cities there. And there it is. Oh my gosh, so I just got back to the hotel. It was a 2-hour drive from the waterfall to here, and one of those hours was in the dark. I would not recommend driving Fiji in the dark. Most, if not all, of the streets are not illuminated by streetlights, and the only ones that will have illumination by streetlight are some of the streets in Nadi, just because it's a big town. But everything else was super dark. You're driving with cars that are tailing you because they're used to driving fast and they're just speeding around. You're driving with cars that have broken taillights so you can't see them in front of you, that have broken headlights so you can't see them coming to you. There's people walking on the road. There's dogs walking on the road. There's bicycles on the road, none of which have like any sort of illumination. And if that wasn't enough, there's also a ton of speed bumps along the main Queens Road, and those don't have like any sort of reflectiveness on them. So if you don't see them, you catch some air. You catch some air. And it was not fun, but we made it back. Just drove pretty carefully, but oh man, would not recommend that. Gonna settle down for today and just try to see if the resort has some dinner. We're on day 5 in Fiji, and I don't really have any plans for today. And I kind of want to drive up north this time. Yesterday I just drove the main road south and visited the waterfall that was there and the 2 beaches. And usually that's kind of how I do my traveling. I just check out what's in the area, what's cool, or if I'm out of ideas, I just kind of drive down the main roads and see what I find. But yeah, the plan for today will be pretty light. I did end up booking another day of surf tomorrow, and the surf is supposed to be a lot bigger tomorrow. The swell is actually in, so hopefully it's not too big for me. If it is really big, I know that they have restaurants and swimming pools, and those 2 spots tend to be a lot more chill than the other ones, because Surfline's currently saying 6 to 8 feet. The last time I went, Surfline was saying 3-4 plus, but I would say it was more 2-3. So I'm hoping it's more around 4-5 tomorrow. That would be absolutely perfect. I think the perfect amount of energy and just in my area of comfortability. But yeah, we're gonna keep it pretty light today, stay on land, because I'm so sore. I've been waking up just exhausted each day because I'm doing so much. So keeping it light so I can handle tomorrow. Now we're off to get breakfast, and then we'll probably explore the northern part of the island instead of the southern like yesterday. Did a quick stop at this breakfast bar for some classic LA girl breakfast. We've got avocado toast and a smoothie bowl. We need to get some cash first, so have to stop by an ATM, because other than the main cities, everywhere else only takes cash, and so I don't usually carry cash. So I need to go get more cash. I have like $80 in my bank account right now, but that should be enough. On the road to the hike, this road is a little bit worse than the one to the waterfall hike from yesterday. Oh, as soon as I say that, of course it gets paved. What the heck? Anyways, it's a bit bumpy, but I read online that you might need to hire a taxi to do this, but I've seen no indication that you would need to do that. This drive would definitely be a lot nicer with a four-wheel drive car that's a little more lifted than this thing. But some beautiful views. Hopefully we'll be there soon, because I don't like driving on like bumpy gravel like this and avoiding potholes everywhere. Oh yeah. Oh. Hopefully it's paved for a while more. All right, I'll check back in once I'm there. Our adventures through the mining facilities have led us here, which I don't really want to cross that. So we're gonna go all the way back around to a small little town on the main highway, which means going all the way back. Didn't really pack food for this trip, so stopped by this Indian place on the side of the road. Once again, it was pretty cheap. I think around 3 or 4 USD. Well, we got changed for this hike, but finally made it up to that post right there. And we are going to be doing the Koroyanitu waterfall hike. I think there's 2 waterfalls here. We're gonna be going to the lower one just because it's more accessible. And we are kind of short on daylight. So I don't want to be driving back at night like I was yesterday. I might end up running a little bit here. Looks like it did rain. But yeah, man, the road here was tough. It was just as tough as going through the other side of the mountain with all the mining facilities. And it's super bumpy, except on this side there was a lot of gravel. And I don't like driving on gravel. You have no traction. Apparently on this side there's a rain shadow effect. The wind is blowing the cold, moist air from the ocean up the mountain. It all condenses and rains on this side, leaving the other side a little dry, but this side is all jungle. So hopefully we get some beautiful views. It was quite an adventure just coming out here. It's kind of funny because when you stop by like the local like food places and buy food off of them, they're like, where are you staying? I guess not too many people stop by there. All right, back to hiking. I'm already out of breath. There's all these huge golf courses all along the Fijian coast. But one thing about me is you would not be able to pay me to play golf after coming all the way to Fiji. When I travel, I want to see the diversity in landscape. I want to see the people, the local spots. I don't want to be on the same green grass playing golf, you know? I've never really understood that, but I guess maybe if you're older, then you're like, oh, well, what else are you gonna do, you know? But man, yeah, it's crazy seeing all these people play golf. I'm like, you're in Fiji and you're playing golf? But for me, I'm more about this, exploring, the adventure. Oh, had to go off-roading in a Prius to get here. It took like 30 minutes and there was not a single soul on the road, so I didn't even know if I was coming to the right place. But we're supposed to find an epic waterfall over here. Let's see if we do. This is Verney Falls, the first creek that we crossed. Following this creek up, I guess, until I find a barbecue shed, and And then the path starts there. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's the barbecue shed. And this is that moment where the music will crescendo and it will zoom off into the distance. The hidden waterfall. This is it. I think we've reached it. These are the lower falls. Such a cool jungle hike coming in. It's a little tough. It took maybe like 25 minutes of just, muddiness, some incline, but not hard at all. I'd say maybe on the 1 to 10 scale, maybe like a 3. Given that it was muddy, if it wasn't muddy, maybe a 2. We'll slip down the rock. But wow, that really is gorgeous. Like always, the camera really doesn't capture how amazing this looks. I'm gonna take a closer look, put the camera down for a bit. There is a huge bull blocking the pathway and I'm not trying to get gored today. I don't know what to do. I'm just waiting for him to leave, but he's just looking at me. I don't even know what I will do if he charges me. Yes, please keep moving down the path. There they go. Keep moving along. That one just keeps looking at me. But we're gonna get a move on. When I got down from the hike, I ended up eating at one of the homes in the village for 20 Fijian dollars. Everything here that I had, the taro leaves, the eggplant, the eggs, were sourced from the village except for the rice. And it was absolutely delicious. I would totally recommend it. And after eating 2 full plates of this because I was absolutely famished, the villager I was eating with told me to have more and that the food, a literal table full, was for me. Got back to the hotel. And man, I encountered 30 minutes of traffic. Those roundabouts can take forever, so I ended up driving back in the dark. And it went well, better than yesterday. But Google Maps saw that there was a slowdown at that roundabout, and it just randomly took me to somewhere not on the main road. And these roads that are not part of the main road, like Queens Road, Kings Road, those bigger paved roads, they can just get really bad. And this one that it took me to just had a whole section where the middle was just raised so much that it would just scrape the entire bottom of the car if I drove through it. So I didn't drive through it. I went around, but that took a while. I realized that I did not show this map, so I kind of wanted to throw this in there just in case. So if it did interest you, you can pause here. And then again, this is Koroyanitu. All right, it's day 6 in Fiji. We've got a full day of surfing ahead of us, and the swell is supposed to be a bit bigger than it was before. Surfline, which has not been correct the entire time, because when I first got here, that first surf session was supposed to be around 4 or 5 at swimming pools. I'd say it was more 2, 3. The second surf session, it said 3, 4 plus. I'd still say it was around 2, 3 plus maybe. We had some 4-footers on both days, but I would not say we had any 5-footers at all. Today it's supposed to be 4, 6, but we'll see if that's the case or not. Anyways, I'm really excited to get into it. This is our last day of surfing, so hopefully we catch some awesome waves. And then just in case you guys wanted the information for Fiji Surf Co., who has been absolutely amazing. The owner, Ian, is a great guy, super funny, very charismatic. He came up with this business a few years ago and has been running it very successfully since. And at 175 Fijian dollar per person, it is a pretty fair price. I wouldn't say it's cheap, but it is a fair price. And this is going to be their pamphlet, Fiji Surf Co. There's that information on it. Then this is the back of the pamphlet they have there. Anyways, hopefully today's great. let's get into it. Starting off at swimming pools today. It is a lot better than the past 2 days, but there's a little bit of a lineup. That's okay. Let's see if we can get some good waves.
Sometimes when the main break is too packed, you just paddle way out and hope for a wide one. I prefer doing that versus paddle battling everyone and having to hop off every other, if not all of the waves. Back at Nomatu left, it looks like there are some longer waves today. The last 2 times it was just pure closeouts here. By recommendation, this is where we're having lunch, right here in Nadi. Let's give it a shot. Taking a look at this shopping center right here. And it's funny because they have a gym, which I didn't expect to see. There's a cinema in the background, just a bunch of eateries. I'm just looking for a dessert spot, so I'll probably hit up this bakery that I just walked by. Yesterday, I just ended up winding down and read my book, then went to bed. Today is the 7th and my last day here in Fiji. I am packing up the whole entire room. I didn't realize I brought so much stuff, but I did. Got the surfboard packed up. I'm probably just gonna go grab lunch at the same place I went to get dinner yesterday because it was really good, authentic Fijian food. But we'll see if we can find a quick dive site before we go. If we can't, that's all right. I expect most of the best diving is out on the islands, but I didn't want to book a snorkeling charter for like 150 USD or anything like that. So we'll see what we can find, but yeah, this has been a great trip. Amazing surfing, amazing hikes, really good food, and I'd definitely come back. And although the trip started off really bad, forgetting my carbon fiber fins at the airport, having to check this in and having to check my bag in for over $400, everything else went pretty smoothly. Well, my iron just broke, but not before we ironed the front side of the shirt. So let's go get lunch. The city of Nadi has a downtown area with shops and the marketplace, and I didn't really see too much nightlife while I was there, but during the day it is quite busy. Most of the tourists tend to stay in the Port Denaru area with all of the shops and the resorts there, and they don't really leave. But the thing about that is that everything there is priced for the tourists, so it's pretty expensive. Look at that, another Korean barbecue place. Who would have thought? Anyways, stopped at this place to get some juice because I was really craving it after seeing so many bright orange colored juices for sale on the side of the road. Juice is secured. I got soursop and guava. There's a lot of different places that will sell stuff like this on the side of the road, but one of the locals was telling me that you can get pretty sick from drinking that, and that he's gotten like the runs for 3 days multiple times from drinking that stuff. So he said this was a good place to try, and I tried it yesterday. It was really good, but I got a different flavor. I forget what, but I'm looking forward to trying this. And then this is the menu here.
Hopefully, I was playing bingo yesterday with what they had in stock because they were out of everything. But I'm hoping that they have stuffed kai today. This stuff is actually pretty good. So this is the soursop one. I've had soursop in the Dominican Republic before, and I really didn't like the fruit. But I guess when it's blended like this, it tastes a lot better. And the reason the locals were telling me that I shouldn't drink the juices that they have on the side of the road is just because it's so hot. It goes bad pretty quickly, and they kind of just mix in whatever. So if you happen to get just a bad batch, you're gonna have a bad week. All right, ended up getting the mud crab with some ceviche and eggplant in coconut milk. And then that there is the cassava or tapioca. All right, this looks great. I ended off my trip by visiting Natadola one more time in hopes that snorkeling would be a bit better. Unfortunately, it was not, and with my cameras all dead and all out of cash, I kept driving down south. On the freeway, I was flagged down by a local who asked me for a ride to the next village. When I gave him one, he ended up showing me this snorkel spot the next town over from Natadola, and the visibility and life there was amazing. My cameras were all dead, so I didn't capture it. The guy actually ended up joining me out there to snorkel himself as well. And that's it for this vlog. No real outro as I rush back to the airport to make my flight.